What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing? It's 5:01 here now, my time, so I'm assuming 10:01 your time over in London time. We're going to kick this thing off in a few minutes. We just had some confusion. There were some Slovakians on the line, so we had to check it out and figure out what was going on and kind of schedule this timing error going on. But looks like we have figured it out. So like I said, we're going to go ahead and kick this thing off in a couple minutes. I'm at Tyler Small's house right now, and helping him move from his house to the new house that we just got. And I just realized there's no table in that room anymore because we just loaded it up. But right now, we got 9 people in the call, and I know that there was like 100 or so that said they were coming on. So if you guys want to take a second and just text, make sure that you guys just text through your groups. Call whoever you guys knew was going to be on this call, and make sure that they're tuning in right now, and make sure that they have the correct link, to getting on tonight's webinar. I'm gonna put on some music here because I don't know exactly when everybody's gonna be hopping on this one. I know it was kind of last minute that everything was promoted, so I'm gonna throw on some music, and then, like I said, call through everybody, and I'm gonna start this regardless of how many people are on here. In about probably 4 or 5 minutes. I hope you guys like tropical house music. That's what we got going on today.
We found love as the leaves turn brown, and we could be together, baby, as long as skies are blue. You act so innocent now, but you lied so soon. When I met you in the summer, My heart beat a song. We found love, just a decent brown, and we could be together, baby. On the skies are blue. You had some windows and love, but you lied so soon. When I met you in the summer.
So everybody is updated. You got 2 minutes to get everybody that you want on this call. And then I'm just firing away. So if they're on at that point, great. If not, you're going to miss out at that point. I've got some information tonight that I'm excited to share with everybody on the call. That's the Tropical House. One's a recommendation, Thomas Jack. Volume.
I got lit inside right shine. Every note is wrapped around the soul. Steel guitars from Memphis, all the way to rock and roll.
All right, so there's not too many more people being added into the call, as I wait here. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to kick things off and, bring the information to you guys, and you guys can turn around and obviously bring that information and bring that value back to your team, right? That's what this whole Lima thing's all about, a little bit of give and take. You got to give, or you got to take, sorry. You take in the information, you take in the value, you turn around and you give it out. So the fact that the call wasn't as many people as anticipated is not a bad thing. That's just more responsibility on your shoulders. If you don't promote beforehand, you're going to have to do more work, after the call is over. So I'd encourage everybody after this call to turn around and, like I said, give all that value out that you just received from this call. The information, maybe something that sticks to you. It's probably going to stick to your team. It's probably going to be something that, if it helps you, is going to help your team out as well. So I'd encourage everybody to take some notes on this call, have a notebook out, notebook handy, All right, if you hear something that you like, something that kind of sticks with you, or a good point that you think might help or change the way that you build your business, or change the way that you're doing something in your teams, chances are somebody in your group or in your team will probably have the same realization for them. So that's why taking notes is so important, so you can turn around and give the same information back out to those who could use it. So a few things I want to talk about, to you guys on the call right now. And the first thing I wanted to lead with on this webinar is the reason why I am excited to be working more with your team, whether it's, Lawrence's team as a whole, whether it's, Neil's team, whether it's Elsie's team, whoever has hit me up, whoever's contacted me and wants to work with me. I'm very, very eager right now to work in the UK, because of this whole double volume thing that's going on, where they're not cutting the volume in half for the first enrollments. Every single time somebody enrolls into your business, you get full volume, right? Understand what that can do to your business, and understand the momentum that can create in your business for the newest person. You're going to be able to hit ranks twice as quickly. All of the, you see people that hit ranks in, a month, right? Let's say the rank that you hit, for instance, your first month in the business, is all 100% from new people getting involved. It's not from reorders or not from auto deliveries. So if you hit, let's say, silver your first month, if you're one of those individuals that really took this thing seriously and hit silver your first month, well, if this system was in play when you did that, you would have been able to hit gold. Right, now take that principle, the same exact thing. If you were someone who was extremely ambitious and hit gold your first month, if this system, the way it is right now, was in play, you would have been able to hit diamond your first month without doing any extra work, without putting in any extra work. So hearing stories like that of people, growing their business extremely quickly, that momentum is going to create urgency, and it's going to help you, number one, getting people involved, closing people, and getting them actually physically involved in your business. And number two, helping people to stick, helping people to see the long-term vision, because they're seeing their businesses grow literally twice as fast. So that being said, with this new system that's in play, right now for Vima in London, for Vima in the UK, or actually I think it's just Vima in Europe in general, this full volume system, that just doubles the importance of staying plugged in, right? Of staying involved in all of the calls. I mean, I know that you guys can't personally hop on the calls. I know some people do kind of go the extra mile and personally hop on the calls, but that's fine. That's why we have everything up on SoundCloud, so then you can check out all of the calls on SoundCloud on a webinar like this. Right, 10 p.m. on a Wednesday. I know that you guys can get a lot more of your friends, a lot more of your business partners on a call just like this, to just stay plugged in and hear about what's happening in the Elite Network, hear about the new things that's going on, the new incentives and why we're all excited, and just, if for nothing else, get that battery recharge. I know for myself, I'm always doing these trainings, I'm always doing these webinars, I'm hosting calls, I'm hosting events, and I know that when I go to an event that I'm not hosting, when I leave that event, the amount of energy that I have coming out of that event, it's unbelievable. It's literally a battery recharge. You can't just run and run and run and run and run and run and give and give and give and give and give and never sit back and take, right? That's why, sometimes I won't be on the six-figure mentorship call for 3 weeks straight, because I just did it for 3 weeks straight. And now I want to sit there and I want to just take it in. I want to take in and receive value and get those batteries recharged. So I personally still listen to the quick start calls. Even I still listen to the six-figure mentorship calls. If there's a webinar that somebody else has hosted, even if they're in my business, I will still be on that webinar and listening, not just to say that I'm plugged in, and not just to lead by example in a sense, but I'm on that call to learn. I'm on that call to take in information, to receive value and receive energy. And that's a huge, huge point. Right. And a lot of the people on this call I know are leaders. A lot of the people that I work with, actually everybody that I work with, in the UK considers themselves a leader, right? Somebody who wants to lead a group, who has a long-term vision with the Vima concept, and who knows what it can do for you, for your lifestyle, for everybody involved in your group. All right. So that being said, if you are a leader, you're probably, hosting these events a lot, hosting these webinars a lot, gathering people together, setting up calls like this. But it's nice to kind of just sit back and receive all of the information every once in a while. So I encourage everybody, for all of the calls right now, while your business is growing quickly, while you have this momentum, and while this double volume thing is in play, which I think it's going to stay like that if it continues with the momentum that's been coming from it, remember that we have a system, right? Remember that you don't have to do everything yourself. And if your business is growing extremely quickly, if you're one of those individuals that I just talked about, that's having a whole lot of momentum right now, realize that that's not, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a crazy amount of more work for you. What it means is going to be more promotion for you. It's going to be, more identifying leadership for you, right? And it's going to be more teaching how to teach, right? This time right now, while your business grows fast, is where you can create a whole new level or a whole new foundation. I'm sure everybody in this call has kind of their core group, their core leaders, their core people that they work with, and that, have been there since, the beginning, right? Since they first started the business. And that's great to have. But in this business, you'll never be able to make it with just one of those core groups. Right? You have to help others to find their core groups. You have to identify leaders, identify leadership, and then pass the torch in a sense and build that second layer of foundation. And what you need to realize is that everything that we have in play, with our system, with the playbook, and with with the entire system that comes from the playbook, is to design to help you create that in your business. But if you don't use it and if you don't follow through with it, it's not going to make any difference. You're not going to see any results. It's like with medicine. If you're sick and you start taking a medicine and you're supposed to be on it for 4 weeks, right? And then you just stop 3 weeks in, that whole 3 weeks was for nothing. You're going to see zero results. Just because you took medicine for 75% of the time you were supposed to take it does not mean that you're going to see 75% of the results that medicine was supposed to give you. You'll see 0% of the results that the medicine was supposed to give you. And it's the same exact thing with the business model. It's the same exact thing with utilizing the system. If you kind of do 75% of the things, that we recommend or that we say that you should do for your business, you're not going to see 75% of the results that you want to see. You're going to probably see closer to zero. So what I would recommend is either do it, follow it, or don't, right? Like do it and fully immerse yourself in it and be in it, or just don't, right? So that being said, and hopefully you guys listen to my 6-figure mentorship call from this past weekend. I don't usually promote a lot of my own stuff, but I think that call was something that everybody really needs to hear and something that, could have helped a lot. And what I talked about was I talked about the concept, or the skill, I should say, because it is a skill, of promoting. Okay, promoting, or some people say leveraging, right? To me, it's the same exact thing. When I started the business, I wasn't necessarily good and I didn't have the skills necessary in order to enroll somebody in the business. But what I did have the skills to do was I did have the skills to promote. So instead of going out there and explaining the entire concept to myself, I promoted Luke Kish. I promoted, we didn't have too much tools. We had some videos. So I'd promote a video, or I'd promote a webinar like this, or I'd promote a training call to my entire team, once I had people that were getting involved. So now that you guys are getting involved today, what you can really, really learn to do, what you will really benefit in doing, and everybody hears the phrase, you want to work smart, not hard. Nobody really talks about how to work smart. That's how you work smart. That's how you work smart. Where the hours that you're putting in, you don't just get paid for that hour that you're putting in. If you're working smart, it'll do so much more during that 1 hour than you can personally do in that 1 hour. And the only way to do that is to leverage something, right? To promote for something, some third party, event, or some third party call or webinar or tool or video or person, right? For me, the biggest thing that I promoted in the beginning was Luke Kish. That's it. I'd promote my friend Luke, right? I'd promote my business partner Luke. So when I first got involved, all I was talking about when I would talk to my friends and tell them about the business model, I wouldn't tell them about the business model. I'd tell them about my friend that they needed to meet. That was on some next level shit. They needed to meet my friend because he was doing something that was blowing my mind. He was doing something that I'm going to get involved in, and I would love for them to hear about what it was. But at the end of the day, you really just got to meet my friend. And that was the biggest thing. It's not the biggest thing that I wanted from them wasn't for them to hear about the business model. The biggest thing that I wanted for them was to meet my friend, because I was promoting my friend. I didn't know how to promote the business model yet. I didn't know how to promote the concept yet. But I did know how to promote somebody who knew how to promote the concept. And that's just as good. That is just as good if you learn how to do it. So that's why I wanted to come on here and talk about, that today, the importance of leverage, whether it be, the uplines, the videos, the tools, and edifying each of those. You can say leverage, you say edify, you could say, promote. For me, I think of it in terms of promoting. But while your business is going so fast and growing big, you need to remember to keep it simple. Okay, you need to remember to keep it simple and to keep it duplicatable. Okay, because as your business does grow quicker, not everybody comes in with the natural talent that you may have, or not everybody comes in and learns the skills and gains the knowledge that you guys may have, right? So that being said, the simpler you keep it, the more duplicatable you keep it, then the simpler it will be for the next people to get involved. And then when those next people get involved, if it's simpler for them, the simpler it's going to be for them to teach it to the next round of people that get involved. And you'll have the layers of foundation that I was talking about in the beginning of this call. So keeping it simple. What I would recommend for that is to use these tools, use the videos, right? Use something like this, like where if you can, instead of you telling somebody to do something, recommend them to hop on a call. That's Ty. Recommend them to hop on a call where I can tell them or recommend them to do something. Because you have to understand that from where you're at right now, it's different from you telling the newest person something than it is from me telling the newest person something. All right, so learn to leverage. If instead of, let's say for instance, you guys, even on this call, if you're on this call and you're taking a whole bunch of notes, you learn some stuff. Maybe I said one thing that you really like that you're going to turn around and tell your groups. Then after this, you're going to set up a call with your groups and you're going to give them all the information. Not only did that take you more time, and not only are you working harder for no reason, you're working less smart, but now they're hearing about it from you instead of straight from the source. It means something different, right? Where if you can just do more work before the call, right? That time that you invest after the call, turning around and teaching everything to your groups, invest that time before the call, all right, to promote. And when I say promote, I don't mean, group meets. I hate group meet. If I'm in a group meet with you guys or a group in WhatsApp, I don't ever read it. I don't ever look at it. If it's a Facebook, group, to be honest, I don't ever look at it. I don't use that stuff, whether it be promoting or whether it be to hear about information. Okay, I think it's useful when you have like your core group to just create a quick group chat with people, but not to tell people or offer people or recommend people to do something to better themselves and better their business. The best way to do that is a personal phone call. Get on the phone. If you want somebody to hop on a call, if you want somebody to meet your friend, if you want somebody to get on a webinar, if you want somebody to utilize a tool, whatever it may be, personal phone call. Okay, you need to make it personal, because if I'm in a group text with 10 other people, I don't even read the text. And if I do read the text, I read it completely differently rather than if that was a text that was sent personalized to me. So whatever your method is of doing it, just make sure that it's personal to each person that you are talking to. That is the only way to promote. So if you want 1,000 people at the event and you don't plan on making 1,000 phone calls, in my opinion, it's kind of, that's a wish. That's a hope. It's not a plan. Right? This is business. You need to make a plan. You need to execute that plan. Okay, so kind of recap everything that I talked about, today on the call. Number one, you guys are in a position right now where you can really take yourselves to the next level. You can move twice as fast as you did when you first got started because of the way that the business model is set up. Now, with that new momentum that you have the potential of creating for yourselves and your business right now, your business are going to grow quicker, and they're going to grow a lot bigger in a shorter amount of time. So you need to remember to keep things simple. Right? You need to remember to keep things stupid simple, and don't just do what you can do what you can duplicate. Do what you can do, and also do what you think others can do. So that's not always coming on the call and throwing down the call. That's not always getting in front of the room and throwing down the event. Get very, very good at promoting, because promoting is something that every single person can learn how to do. Sometimes people get, weird talking about themselves, or awkward talking about what they've done, or weird talking about the business model that they're personally involved in. But if they're talking about something that somebody else is doing, it becomes much, much easier to do, much, much simpler to do. And, the newest person is going to be able to grasp that a hell of a lot easier than they're going to be able to grasp completely doing it themselves. So learn to promote, really focus on promoting, and that will, the tools, the calls, the webinars, everything, that will make your business a hell of a lot simpler. That's my absolute biggest point for everybody today, and something that a lot of people talk about, but not everybody does, and I can say that for me personally, something that like events, things like that. I talked about events a lot. But until recently, I didn't realize the huge importance of events because I went out to a few events with the mindset or the intention of learning, of taking away from those events, not just going and leading by example because I was supposed to, but actually going and learning at those events. And in doing that, I realized how much I actually got out from it. And I just kept thinking the entire time, the event was like painful because I just wish that more of my team was there. I wish that I had taken time before the event to promote harder to my group, because if I did, oh my God, each person that I had at that event would have been an extra 10, 20 new affiliates the next month in my business. So if I would have been able to just take time before that event, prepare beforehand, get myself ready beforehand instead of wish after, I would be in a completely different position leaving that event. So instead of kind of getting down on myself about that, what I just said is, okay, I'm never, ever going to miss out on an event again. And when I say miss out, not me personally going because I'm supposed to, but me preparing before the event and me promoting to my team before the event. My goal is to have 1,000 people at, at convention just through my group alone. And I'm prepared to make well over 1,000 phone calls. I know not everybody that I call is going to be involved or not going to get out to Arizona and go to convention, which is completely fine. But if I got to call 5,000, if I got to call 10,000, that's completely fine. They say in this industry that for every one person you have at the national convention, then you should expect about $1,000 in residual income the next year. Okay, so if you have 10 people at convention, the next year you should expect to make right around $10,000. Eric Worre said this, and he went around the room and he asked everybody how much they made and how many people they had at convention last year. And it was kind of like eerie. It was a little creepy because it was usually within a few $1,000s. Even the people that were in the high hundreds of thousands, it was within a few $1,000s, 10, maybe $15,000, of the ratio to people to the amount of money that they made the year after that. And my goal is $1 million a year. So to me, that's kind of a delusion if I don't get 1,000 people to convention and I want to make $1 million a year, right? So take that for what you will. But just know that this isn't advice that I'm giving you guys because I read it in a book or because I heard it from somebody else. It's advice I'm giving you guys because I've learned it myself personally. I've applied it to my business, to my life, and I've seen results with it in my business. So that being said, take my advice or don't take my advice, but if you do, it will do a lot for you and it will do a lot for your business. It will make things a lot easier on you, take some weight off your back, allow you to work smart and then hard on top of that, but you can work a little bit less hard than you probably are right now if you just switch up your tactics and work a little bit smarter. But that being said, thank you guys for hopping on the webinar. I do appreciate it. Lawrence was talking about a weekly one. I don't know if I'm personally going to be able to hop on every single week. I have to check about next Wednesday to see if that works out for me. But please give me your feedback. Please. Ty's in front of me right now. He said he's down to do one. He's eager to talk to you guys and spread some information and give some value out to you. So obviously always great hearing from him and getting a little peek inside his head and what's going on there because he's one of the hardest working people that I've ever met. And to see kind of how he has the mindset to be able to do that and not stop and continue with enthusiasm is pretty unbelievable. And getting a peek inside that and taking some of the principles that he uses in his life and then hearing him talk and then taking those principles and applying them into mine has personally helped me a lot. So that's something to look forward to, something that you guys should all be excited for. And I can tell you I'll attend to that. I will be on the webinar and I will be listening to him, and jotting down some notes, some things that he says that, I really like, right? So with that, guys, thank you for hopping on the call. I appreciate it. And in the chat, thank you for the music recommendations. I'll be sure to do that next time before the call. But you guys all have a good night.